Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along. Monday night, 8 p.m. can mean only one thing. The Online Darts Live Lounge returns, episode 224. Myself, Phil Bars, and Dan Simpson are here for the next few hours, keeping you company, talking all things darts. Plenty to talk about, as always. Dan, how we doing, buddy?
All right, mate. Yeah, we're all right up here. Yeah, it's been a good, busy all week of darts, hasn't it? I mean, you were non-stop last week. Lots of things being decided, lots of things going on, lots of things coming to an end. Like we are very much in the thick of it now, aren't we? In terms of we've talked for a while, so we're getting towards the business end of the season, and now it feels like we're not getting towards it. We are very much in the thick of it. But no, it's all good. I had a cracking day on Saturday. The shift of Pro Tour events onto midweeks has hindered my abilities to get onto live streams and to actually do really what I started out doing with online darts on this. You know, when I very first joined the team, I was doing, Pro Tour watch-alongs. That's sort of what I did, and it was really nice to get on for the day and to feel like I'd wound the years back and turn the clock back a little bit. Yeah, it was dead cool, really fun.
Yeah, and people that have noticed, are you asking me to step in?
You've gone, haven't you?
You're not
stepping, you're striding, lad.
I've two-footed it. It's been absolutely obliterated. Before we come on to the chat room, there is something that I want to say, first of all, that obviously it's on social media, and our hearts go out to Danny Baggish and his family. That we all know that they were having medical issues, but the tragic news of their child passing this morning, it's just with deep sadness that things like this put things into perspective. So from all of us here at the OD team, our thoughts go out to Danny and his family. He was only in the chat room last week talking along. So from us all and the dying world, our thoughts and love and prayers go to the Baggish family at this ever so sad time.
Yeah, it's unimaginably sad, and it very much puts lots of other things that we talk and banter about into context, and it does remind you that there's lots of, whilst we have a bit of fun and we talk a lot about darts, it's not really important at the end of the day, is it? And that there are far more important things going on in the world. And I can only echo what you said there. It's unimaginably sad, and all of our hearts and thoughts and prayers and everything else go out to Danny and his family.
Yeah, 100%. Chat room is busy already, which is good. Jamie is in. Kay, how we doing? Malachi, Dan is in. Dale, how we doing? Yep, Tree is all up. We'll come on to that in a minute. Malachi, that's good. How we doing? Maximus, Richard is in. Warren, good evening. How we doing? Connor, Mark is in. How we doing, mate? Shelty, Dixie, Wayne says hi. And chat room, Chris is in. Kieran, how we doing, mate? It was good to meet you in Northampton as well, buddy. Ron, how we doing? Scott, Andy, James, good evening, buddy. Damo is in. David, it is rammed.
It's busy, isn't it? Yeah, they're getting stuck in early.
Yeah, James, I have stepped in. Fraser, how we doing, buddy? James is in. Christmas tree is up. How we doing, Daniel? Ho, ho, ho. Yes, No.
No, not ho, no.
How we doing, Johnny? Hope you are good. I'll tell you what, this is ram. Joel says, "What's up, OD crew?" Yeah, massive condolences, I would say, to Danny and his family. Ever so sad. The nukes are in Chinese in hand. How we doing, Anthony? Hope you're good, buddy. It's good catching up with you in Northampton as well. We will come on to the Grand Slam in a minute. Look, there is some good news as well, and I wished him good luck and then congratulations as well that the nuke has passed his driving test first time. Good lad.
I think he's probably the only 18-year-old in the country that can afford to insure a car in this day and age, isn't he? I think it'd be about, I think people will probably be expecting him to go out and pull up in a Lamborghini or a Bugatti, and all of a sudden they're going to realise he needs to insure the bloody thing. But yes, absolutely, congratulations. I think there's an awful lot of people spent an awful lot of time driving that young man around that might feel like they're owed a lift or two. I think there might be a chap in the chat room that might be... he might have his eye now on a designated driver here and there because he's probably done enough of that running about himself.
What was it? 7 theory tests, but first time practical. Good lad, he knows.
You know, that's all that matters when you get on the road, isn't it, Phil? It's all that matters is that once you get out there, you just got to get from A to B.
Give it a year, and it'll be an expert on the M5, M6, M42.
Hey, I think we'll see him down in Minehead in a few weeks. I'll let him take the e-tron out for a spin. I'll see if I can get him insured on the e-tron. See if he wants to feel the power.
To be fair, once he's done that drive once, he'll never want to do it again.
Yeah, I was going to say that drive to Minehead, you feel like handing your driving license back afterwards, don't you? Can I call into Swansea on the way and just drop it off for the DVLA? I never fancy doing that again. Please don't let me have to drive to Minehead again.
there we go. Feet on the dashboard, pie in hand, boss.
See, there's a man. As a man who spent an awful lot of time driving his kids around from A to B, I know exactly how he feels, and I think he's probably owed a few lifts. They'll have stacked up over the years from that young man.
Yeah, 100%. And I can see our guest has arrived, which is great timing. So I will play a little segue just to get us in so we can get Alan in. But 2 seconds, everyone. We will do this.
Hey.
And a very warm welcome to Mr. Alan Warriner-Little.
Good evening, chaps. Technology, love it. Absolutely love it.
Oh, it's been a while. We've spoken on the phone and WhatsApp many times, but it's a pleasure to have you on the show for the first time, Al.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it. Something I think we've had the conversations, haven't we? Which I'm sure we'll come across when we have this conversation, that communication is such a big issue with our players, and when we're certainly open to trying anything really that will help.
Yeah, massively. First of all, from a darts point of view, it's been bonkers with your PDPA hat on. Keeping up with everything must be a fun and games this time of year.
That's why I've gone grey, mate.
Lucky you, I'll never get the chance.
and the bad heart, obviously. Just an update on that. Everything's going great after I've had my heart procedure. That's all. I feel everything's great, going well.
Well, yeah. Obviously, we saw when you put on social from your hospital bed. Are you on the right track now? Is everything good and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I had a small procedure really. Basically, they found something genetic which I didn't know about, where the top half of my heart and the bottom half had just gone out of sync a little bit. So it was almost like, best way to explain it, it's like a reboot, basically. So nice. I'm the new Ice. I'm not the original Iceman. I'm the new Iceman.
The next generation. I love it.
I like that. Now, look, this time of year, what does it look like for the PDPA then? Because there's plenty going on all sides of admin, on the hockey and everything. What's it like to be a part of the PDPA at this time of year?
Well, it's 24/7 really. I mean, we have an office, but I generally work in the morning before I go to work, in the office, and then later on at night, because it's just that hectic. You just can't fit everything in. I mean, apart from all the TV events we've got and the final sort of events of the Challenge Tour, Development Tour, Players Championships, etc., we've got Q-Skill coming up, which will be announced pretty soon. We've also got the World Championships for apparently £1 million first prize. Incredible. That's absolutely mental, which will come on. And then obviously we've got membership and then the new season.
Yeah, just it doesn't stop. Agreed. And look, I know we've had some banter on text and phone calls and whatever. And look, yes, I've been quite critical, but obviously it's good to have you on here because, like I say, we had a really good chat on the phone a few months ago now, and we were just talking about different things, and we both agreed that this would be a good way because a lot of players do listen to this, something different in terms of communicating stuff across to the players. So my guess, first of all, is there anything that you want to get out there first of all?
Well, we've got so many things. I mean, I don't know if did I show you the booklet we did?
Yes, you did. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I mean, you can say here now how good or bad it was.
That was good. It was an insight.
Yeah, basically what we did was like I don't know, an annual, if you want to call it that, where we put everything in it, what we do, what we're looking at doing, what we've done in the past, what we're looking in the future, put it in a booklet, and gave it to all the players. Unfortunately, most of them left it on the table and didn't read it. So we'll obviously do that again and do that again, because it's important to get the message across. And I'll just go on to, I was talking to Glenn Durant earlier today. He's one of our newer members of the PDPA, as you know. And one of the reasons we got on, because he's reasonably sensible. Don't tell him that. And also somebody new from the tour, which is important. And he came on board really keen and everything. And he did a questionnaire and sent it all out to everybody, and he never got one reply. So I said, well, that's the sort of thing that we have to put up with. We've got to find different ways of doing things. I'm 63 now. I might be old school. I don't know. There's many new sort of communication avenues nowadays, this being one of them. We're looking at WhatsApp groups, which you've already set up. All sorts of things that are different that players respond to, because everybody's got a phone in their hand, whether they're traveling or in a hotel or at home. So we're really looking at just really better communication, and it's up to us really to find a way to do that.
Do you think that's the biggest barrier, Alan? And because when you look at the, if you like, what the PDP are trying to achieve, so if you go on the website and you look, it looks brilliant, like it looks really good. But do you think the biggest barrier to sort of delivering what you set out to is engagement, is like player engagement? Do you think that is that the biggest thing to overcome to actually deliver it?
100%. I think the biggest, because when I'm at an event, I go around speaking to everybody, and you can have a 10-minute chat with somebody, and that means more to them about what you tell them than reading a website or an email or something else. Because you can, I'm a people person anyway. I'd rather speak to somebody face to face than this, not often do things like this, but an email is just something blank to me. You don't know if they've read it or not, or whether they understand it. But when you speak to somebody, I'm old school. I like to speak to somebody and see how they're doing, see if they need any help with anything, and more importantly, understand everything that we're doing.
No, I really, really like that. And I know when we were saying that, it was like the conversation where it was, we email everyone, and then we went on to, well, how many people read those emails and so on. And like you say, that in a modern world that we live in, people listen or watch stuff far more now than physically read it. And if it's going to a manager, you don't know if that's getting passed on or just like, oh, that's not important, they don't need to know, and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got another few ideas, stuff like doing individual interviews every now and again. It might take a year to do it, but if you can imagine going to events, there's somebody from the PDPA at every event. They can grab 1 or 2 or 3 every weekend or every Tuesday or Wednesday, and just have a set thing of what we do, and make sure they understand these certain things. Do they use the website? Do they read things? What do you want us to do? All these kind of things that we can say to them individually and get the answers back and provide a better service, because that's the bottom line. Is we will do anything to our players, we really will. But until they tell us what the problem is, it's very difficult.
No, and I like that. And like you say there, that it's you guys understanding what the issues is, because I'm guessing that I'm as guilty as so on. It's when they take to social media to vent, shall we say, but then don't ever let you guys know what the issue is or whatever like that.
Oh, I hate social media. Is great for so many things. I mean, again, I'm old school. I think I don't use it as much as I should do. But why are you putting it on social media when there's a phone? Just ring us up or tell us or something. I just don't understand that. Maybe it's venting some kind of anger. I don't know. I have no idea. But if there's better ways of delivering what you want to ask to somebody, find it. Ring us up. Everybody's got my number. Text me even. It doesn't matter. Or see me at the event. I'll always give you an honest answer. You might not like the answer, but it'll be an honest answer based on what exactly we're doing and what the rules are, or whichever way we're looking at it.
No, I like that. And I suppose, again, from me and listening to the players, is I fully understand how the world works. We know that the PDC will do what they want, right? Whether we like it the players like it. Ultimately, they will do what they think is best for the product. And I suppose, how much say and input do you get as an organisation into changes? Is it as clear as what we think that, yes, they'll listen, but ultimately they will do it anyway?
Well, I've got a really good relationship with Matt. Obviously Matt's the gaffer. He runs a PDC unbelievably, and he's cloning himself sometimes. I don't know how he does it. And obviously Dave and Graham. And we meet all the time. We communicate probably on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And let's be honest. If there's a problem, we'll argue about it. We'll argue in meetings. We'll argue about anything over any, whatever it is. But at the end of it, it's darts that benefits, because we've had the discussion. If you've got a problem with something, you can't just say that's wrong. You've got to say, okay, maybe that's not great, but if we did it this way, it might be better because of this, this, and this. And that's the best way to go forward with it. Now, a couple of issues. A big one, obviously, is the first round prize money at the Players' Championships. Now, we're of the view, different than the PDC. We think players should be paid because they're working and we're looking after the players. It's an obvious thing to say. They could be playing on a stream board, as an example, and they lose the game 6-5 to Little, with 110 average, and they get nothing for it. So we're of the view that, you should get something for it, and we're working on that. The PDC have a different view. So we're trying to get sort of the balance in between. They've just announced this incredible prize money increase for next year, which is absolutely amazing what the PDC have done. When you think of 25 million, 5 million in the Worlds, $1 million for the World Championships. I mean, personally, I'm very proud to be a part of the early part of this to do it. And I never thought we would get here. And it was a thing for Barry to put on his gravestone. Not that he's going to go yet. hopefully. But that was his big goal to get there, and he's made it. It's been an incredible journey where we are. Talking 10 years ago, we weren't full time. We were just doing ad hoc meetings. But darts has got so busy now. It's a game that everybody wants to play and watch, and everybody knows who Luke Littler is and all the other top players. And so it's now full time, and you're just constantly working 24/7.
No, I like that.
When we mentioned earlier, and I think you make a really good point about the engagement, and that the lack of response to a questionnaire. Do you think that over time, if you can increase that engagement, if you can increase the way the level to which players are interacting with the PDPA, do you think that gives you almost more bargaining power? Does that give you more weight in discussion with the PDC, and when you're discussing things at those meetings with more engagement from players, or do you think they're separate issues?
I can see why you're saying that. I mean, we have to remember that we're an association, and we're not a union as such, because we changed that years ago. But if 128 tour cars came up to us and said, "Well, we're not happy about this. Can you anything you do about it?" I'll meet with them, get what they want to say, their opinions, and take it to the PDC. We've never been in a position where we need to do anything further than that, because there's no need for it. Yeah. We know there's issues in other sports. It happens. But we've been pretty good with our members. I mean, if any member rings me up about anything at all, I'll look into it for them and give them a proper answer, because they're professional sportsmen. Nobody wants to be fobbed off in whatever you ask. I've had a recent one. I think I mentioned it to Phil last time I spoke to him, where the top player who played the Premier League wanted something at an event, and he wasn't happy with his answers. So I said, well, I'll look into it for you. So I went back to him. I said, look, I've looked at the cost, the logistics, having it in the venue, everything else, and looked through the whole lot, and it just won't work because of that. And he went, okay, I'm not happy with the answer, but I don't understand the answer because you've explained it. So, not everything works, and we'll always try anything, and I'm quite happy for any player to come with me in anything. Even if sometimes you look and you think, are you sure? If it's an obscure one. But to them, it's important. To them, it's important. It might be something, whether you're number 1 in the world or number 100, you've got an issue with something. Use your association, because that's what we're there for.
Yeah. No, I like that. And just touched on what you said there. And obviously, over the years, there has been a disconnect between the players and the PDPA. And we can see that you guys are trying to do some really good work here. How important is it to build those bridges over time and to get the players back on side with what you guys are trying to do?
Well, it's massive, yeah. I mean, you could just have one person. Just say, as an example, we did something really, really good for Luke Littler, as an example, because he's one of the biggest names. And then we got him to do a video, and he went online and said, "Oh, the PDPA have been absolutely brilliant. They've helped me with this, this, and this." People take notice. Or if it was Barney or Michael Van Geuren or Gary Anderson or Gerwyn Price, any one of the top players, because people take notice of stuff that's on social media. I don't understand it myself, but I've got to accept the fact that it is there and it works. Yeah, and it works. So, it's another angle for us to look at, that we might do something for a player and say, well, we do a quick video. I mean, Mervyn King won't mind me mentioning it. When he went through all his troubles, we helped him out. We don't go on social media and tell everybody, because it's it's already out there now. But we want to help the player more important than anything, and we've done that for a lot of years.
That is, I think that's something that I realise. I think because a bit like Phil, I have to put my hands up as well. I've had a dig here and there and been critical, and I think
can I mention one to you, Dan? I don't know if it was you when you said Nicky Moss accountant. Was it you?
Oh, it could have been. I'm not going to deny it, because it could well have been.
I'm just going to say that obviously our accountant wasn't very happy about it, but people have to understand that how hard it is to get a chartered accountant to come to events and look after all our players. It's incredible that he's actually loves coming to darts now. He goes to the TV events. To actually get a chartered accountant who would sit there, even if you're not with him, he will answer your questions. And it's amazing to get something like that. And we've got so many good partners on board now, but Adrian's one of the best ones.
I did have that conversation. I'm not going to go into, because I had a conversation about that with another member of the PDPA. And I think one of the things that I'd said was, if there's something that I've said, and again, it probably is, because I think it will have been me, because I think we talked about that. And I think it's due, and it comes from a place. First of all, it comes from a place of like everybody is. I want it to be great. I want it to work really well. I want it to be brilliant for everybody. But at the same time, it probably comes from a lack of knowledge. And I think I don't understand it. And then I think that I need the PDPA to put me right. I need to be. I need.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, Dan, at all. Any of the day. You've got an opinion like anybody else who's involved in darts, as Phil has, as I have. But if you've got an opinion, you've got to have some kind of factual basis for it.
And that's where I said, that's where I sort of wanted more, want more knowledge, want to be told that this is how it works, and this is. Yeah. And I think one of the things, I want to highlight it again, because it was someone that was in that conversation as well, and you mentioned it there, and you mentioned Mervyn, in that. There is good work, very good work done by the PDPA that you can't go and shout about and tell people. Yes. You can't tell people, and that's one of. And I understand probably a bit more after, but having quite productive conversations about it is that there are ways in which the PDPA help players that they can't go and stick on their Twitter and say we did this for so.
It's confidential, isn't it? It's confidential.
Yeah, that's it. You would be massively transgressing against that player's, personal information, and you couldn't do it. But then what happens, and it's not the fault of the PDPA. What happens then is people don't know all that good work that's gone, and you end
they'll make their own minds up and make up a story. And somebody else will do a story. Yeah.
You want to sing. You want to be able to sing the good news stories, but a lot of the really good work, and what I will say, some of the most important work, you can't scream and shout about and sing from the rooftops, and I get that is a real challenge when looking at ways to try and get the message out to more people about what you do and what you're trying to achieve. I think that's a real challenge that you guys have got on your hands.
I agree. Yeah,
I got the answer for you, but I think I like acknowledging it's a challenge.
Good.
Yeah, look, it's a real intriguing one, and obviously, there's a question in the chat room, and it's a real good one. Whilst we're on the thing, Warren asked Alan, what can the PDPA try and do to help attract more non-European players to try and attempt to get a card? Because when we listen people talking from like North America, Asia, and Oceania, there's a lot of players that say, I can't try. When we can see the talent is there in these areas. Is there anything that you guys can try and do to help that?
Well, the first thing is it's their own systems, isn't it? Where you're talking North America, the CDC, and Australia with the new DART body there. Hopefully things will start progressing. From what I hear with the CDC, things are getting better. If you look back 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago, the CDC has made enormous strides to where they are now.
100%.
Are they quite at the finishing line? No, they're not. They've still got a bit of time, bit of way to go and a bit of time to do it in. But things are better. They're now getting invited to more events, you know, Grand Slam as an example, more players in the World Championships. And then you get the Australia where we've had Simon Whitlock, the wonderful Kyle Anderson, and obviously Damien Heta now. So it's a big thing to do, isn't it? Because you're coming up from you're married with 3 kids. You know, how do you do it? It's so difficult. Jeff Smith was one who was back and forwards a few times. Matt Campbell himself. It's very difficult to do, but if the offers are there and the opportunities, it's up to the player to do it. Really, we will give all the help we can, obviously, in any way, shape, or form. Generally, you would guess anybody that did that would have a manager to help them along the way, because obviously financially, it's not just the fact of going to events. You've got to live over here, so that would be quite difficult. So we've not really had as many as I thought we would. I think somebody really takes that plunge if they've done something in the game. Damien Heta, an example, played so well in the World Series events and took a chance. Simon Whitlock before that, as we know, and John Pat from years ago. I mean, obviously it was different then, but there's certainly a lot more talent out there. And you didn't even mention Asia. That Asian tour is getting unbelievably standard. Yeah. It's incredible. It's getting better and better all the time. Every year we see 2 or 3 playing really well, even if they lose. We've got a few more in this time. Obviously, with 128 in it, we're going to see a lot more different faces we've never seen before, to see how well they can cope with not just the pressures of playing, but playing the top player in the first round. So, and the financial rewards. So it's good to see. I mean, obviously the £1 million and the 5 million total is absolutely incredible, but it brings up different challenges, which we're all capable of looking after with the PDC and obviously with the DRA whenever needed.
No, I like that, and it's interesting that obviously you speak about this, because it's something that we talk about a lot. Is we want to see this sport go global. Yes, it's teetering on these areas that Europe we're dominant and so on, but how good would it be if this sport went truly global? But to do that, we need players from all around the world to buy into to the model.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think they're both getting there. I mean, the new Australian one is going great guns now. It's only just been set up, obviously. I think the other one just lost a little bit of momentum, and the players lost a bit of interest, I think. And that's just from the players' perspective. That's what they were telling us. So hopefully that will start moving again. They've obviously, Australia have got the World Series event to play in. The 2 that they have down under. North America don't quite have that yet. Apart from the New York Masters, but they need something bigger, don't they? They need a big TV event over there, you would think, to really boost, I don't know, sponsorship opportunities, players' profiles, all these things that help to make the cake that helps everything to progress, I suppose.
Yeah, an interesting one that we hear, and I don't know if this is trying to educate the players more or whether it's past that, but we hear a lot of UK-based players moaning that they have to go to Germany and Holland to play in Pro Tours, which I don't agree with them, by the way, because those European players have to travel to the UK far more than what they do the other way.
I think exactly what they're trying to say is it's probably players that play in like the Premier League, for instance. That must be really, really tough, even though the financial rewards and everything else that comes around it is amazing. The Premier League, you've got to be travelling on a Wednesday, play on a Thursday, probably go to a European tour Friday, play Saturday, Sunday, come home Monday. You've got a day at home to see the wife, take the dog out for a walk, have your tea, unpack, pack, and then you're off again. So that's probably what the basis of it is. But I'm with you, at the end of the day, our European tour card holders has increased year on year. The European Q School is bigger than the UK one now, which it never used to be, by quite a distance as well last year. Yeah. So in Europe, it's getting bigger. We've now got 2 more European tours in different places that we've never had before, in Slovakia, and I can't remember the other one. Incredible
Poland.
Places. Poland, that's right, the first one, European Tour 1. It's incredible the places we're going to now, but we have to remember it's a global game, not a UK-based game. And it's at this moment in time, like you say, it's more UK-based and European.
Yeah, no, 100%, and it's just interesting. And Jamie's asked about the World Series. Do the PDPA get any input into like new territories in the World Series, trying to help grow the game, or is that purely a PDC decision?
Yeah, it's purely a PDC decision. I mean, obviously, whatever they decide, we'll have a look and see if there's any help along the way that we can do. Normally, with TV events, there's not that much we can do because, you know, the PDC are the promoter. They've got the TV rights, whichever channel it's on. And that's the basis of it. They put the prize money on, and we'll help with any logistical things that we need to do from the player's perspective, and work along with the PDC to make sure that the event goes ahead and goes well.
Yeah, it's great. There's a couple of questions to Alan Warriner-Little, the dart player, in here.
Can I go first? Before we get the rest. It's just a general interest one. It's not even really a PDPA one. It's just, obviously we've just come to the close of the Players' Championships season, if you like. You know, the schedule of events, and it's just I was thinking, like, obviously you've been around those events, Alan, as a player, and then moving from that into, you know, as a member of the PDPA, you've seen it all the way along. And I just wanted to sort of get your thoughts on how it's evolved in that time, and how are those events different now to when they were when you very first played on them, and what, you know, what's changed really over those years?
Well, it's almost like chalk and cheese, isn't it? I'd love to maybe see somebody that had gone around with a camera on the first one and have a look at it now, and to look at the ones that we have in place now. I mean, obviously back in the day, you know, we have one thing to note here as well, that when we started the Players' Championships off, we did it jointly with the PDC. We put half the money up to set up the Players' Championship events, and then obviously it's gone even bigger now. But when you look at it now, wow, it's incredible. 4-stream boards live on the internet. You go in there, everybody's so professional. The stands are all there. Markers to mark your board, so you don't even have to mark if you lose or before the game. Everything's set out perfectly for you. It's nicely in the afternoon, so you've got plenty of time to get ready, because you're playing for a lot of money on a regular basis, and to qualify for TV events. And, you know, obviously social media is big. Dart Connect shows everybody what everybody's doing now. So whatever you're doing in there, if you've hit a 170 finish or had an absolute stinker, it's there live for everybody to see.
Yeah, everybody knows. Everyone's following.
Everybody knows. You can't hide anywhere.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
Now, I'd have to hide somewhere, I think.
On the Players' Championship, there's an interesting one that obviously happened in the last block. Now, obviously, Luke Littler missed registration by 3 or 4 minutes, I think, due to being stuck in a road traffic accident on the motorway. Now, I fully appreciate rules are rules, and there's a cut-off time. I fully appreciate that. But there was a lot of talk on social media again, and we were looking at it from a common sense point of view. Now, obviously, Luke got to the venue late. I completely understand that, but wasn't allowed to register because he missed the time. But then they've called someone up in young Charlie Manby, who was an hour and a half away, who obviously then didn't get there till like 12:30, minimal preparation, and is late there. Is it going to be looked at that maybe common sense can be applied where there was a genuine reason someone was late? And I'm just using Luke as because it happened here, but if it could have been anyone, when you are stuck in an accident on the motorway and there's nothing you can do, and you're not allowed to register, yet you're in the venue, yet you're calling up someone that's got to drive an hour and a half and not get there till 12:30. It seems a little bit back to front.
You know what Barry would say? Set off earlier. Right. Well, the bottom line is, I can understand why you're asking a question, and you know, we've had it in the past when Phil Taylor once missed it, and everybody was like, "Well, why have I let him?" Well, he's missed the deadline. If you do that, you open up a can of worms. When you have rules, and then you let somebody off with that rule, you just can you imagine all the people beforehand who said, "Hold on a minute."
God, yeah. Everyone that's been had the same thing happen to them for the last 3-4 years. Yeah.
He's hopefully learned his lesson. I mean, end of the day, when you get stuck in, if you're traveling on the day to an airport, you don't know what's going to happen. You could get stuck in traffic or something happen. You just don't know, do you? You've got to make sure you give yourself plenty of time, particularly if you're playing in a major event, which Players Championships are. Unfortunately, he was unstuck, and hopefully he'll learn his lesson and setting off early, because he's not exactly that far away, is he? Wigan and Warrington isn't just round the corner. So,
there was a question for you that says, how did it feel that your record has finally been broken at the World Grand Prix? Although it was a losing.
Hey, I'm not having it. No.
Doesn't count.
First and foremost, what an absolute stonker of a game that was.
Yeah, it's good, wasn't it?
It was absolute quality from both players. Gian Van Veen must be thinking, what do I have to do? But obviously, he's done things since, which has been pretty good. But at the time, he's got the biggest average in the event. Fantastic, well played. Does it count? I don't know. Does my opinion count because he's only won 2 legs? It's a losing average. It's still the biggest average in the tournament, but a losing average, I've still got the highest average in terms of a winning average. It's the best way to leave it, because the bottom line is he deserves it because he played really well.
No, it was funny. Big Johnny asked us, can you ask Alan about his experience of the split in '93 after he got to the Lakeside final?
Yeah, that was awful. What a time that was when you look back. Obviously, probably for a couple of years, really, you didn't really know if it was the right thing to do. Probably 3 or 4 years, to be honest, to be exact. At the time, I think it affected me in the final, to be honest, because the stress of it was incredible. Having to go to Ollie Croft's room to pick up some tickets for my friends and family that were coming down to watch me in the final, and I couldn't get out of the room. They wouldn't let me out. I was like, I need to go and practice. But it was just a horrible time for everybody. When you look back, if everybody knows about the history of it, with some of it's on our website, actually. It was really a tough time for everybody, particularly the players. But I put my career on the line, basically. I had to put my house up for mortgage, all these things that everybody else had to do, because we had this vision that if we don't do this now, Darts is going to die. And then obviously look where we are now. It's incredible. But at the time, I was world number 1 at the time. I couldn't get an exhibition anywhere because the BDO had banned us. So then if you got an exhibition somewhere, somebody from the BDO would ring him up and say, well, why have you got him doing an exhibition in your pub? He's banned. A pub landlord wouldn't know. He'd go, I didn't know. So then somebody else would do it, so you'd lose work. So it's pretty tough from that perspective, because at the time there wasn't that many events. So the bread and butter of the game was exhibition work.
Yeah,
it was. I remember the Blood on the Carpet documentary that's on YouTube is a fabulous watch, and just friendships were literally cut in half over this. That it went so deep at one point. I don't think the modern day fan will ever appreciate how deep those wounds went.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've got some really good friends in the BDO, and I just always send them a text wishing them good luck because they're my mates, But, people like Tony O'Shea and Darryl Fitton and them kind of lads who are proper lads, and I would support them all the way. But if you said anything out of turn, it was like you were hung, drawn and quartered, either by the BDO from their side or from our side. It was really, really difficult when you look back, but we had to, once we started the process, we had to go bang, straight down it.
Is there a feeling now, after with all of that in mind, and you can look back with hindsight? Do you look back upon how hard that was and think it was all worth it? Is it something you can look back on now and say, it was tough, but it was worth it?
Yeah, I think I did an interview at the last ITV event when I was talking to Ned about Bo Greaves and the World Youth Final, and I said I'm so proud that was part of this system from the start. That if we hadn't pulled away. Players probably don't understand much now. That's fine. I'm not bothered about that. But at the time, it was very difficult. The players that pulled away, very proud. We've lost a few of them. I just want to mention Jamie Harvey, by the way. I went to his funeral about a month back, and I was really disappointed with the turnout. There was loads of people from up in Scotland. Amazing funeral. Brought him in with bagpipes. Lots of Scots people there. Friends I haven't seen for ages. Spoke to loads of them, but in terms of players, it was really disappointing. I was the only one of the older players there, and John Henderson was the only other PDC player there that I saw. I didn't see anybody else, so that was disappointing from that perspective. But give Jamie a good send off because he was a good lad. Argued a lot, but I tell you what, I could write a book on him and Eric arguing. Oh my God. Him and Eric used to argue all the time. Me and Chris Masons, all we had to do all weekend was kick them two apart. They were like Waldorf and Statler from the Muppets. They were terrible.
I'd read that book, Alan. I'd read that book.
Honestly, crazy. Mad.
Yeah, no,
good times. Good times, though.
That's a real shame, though, that not more made the effort for Jamie Harvey Stringer. That's really sad to hear that. It is, because, like you say, one of the founders and so on. So there, that's not great to hear that, but obviously great that you went and so on.
Yeah, I mean, he was a mate of mine. That's apart from anything else, we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. Chapters coming to an end as well. Minehead.
Can I tell you? Can I tell you a quick story about Jamie?
Of course you can. Yeah, fire away.
Are we after the watershed?
Yeah, you're fine.
We're all right on here. We're all right.
I lived in Lancaster then, and we were all invited to a tournament in Prague by the sponsors there. They wanted 8 players, and they wanted to take the wives as well to just promote the darts over there and look after the wives so the players are happy, all these kind of things. Money was good. We were all looking forward to it. The day before, Jamie rings us up. He says, I'm in Glasgow. He says, can I come and stay at yours? And then we'll all go off the next morning, because obviously it's a long way for me to come. I said, yeah, no problem. I said, get yourself down to ours. We'll go and have a couple of beers and a practice and maybe a Chinese or something, get back early, go to bed and get up and set off for the airport. Yeah, no problem. So he comes down, we goes out. We gets back early, about 9 o'clock, because obviously we had an early flight next day. I said, look, we haven't got a bed, but get on the couch there. Fridge is there if you want a beer or anything. Sky Sports is on. Whatever you want to do, we'll get up at 7 o'clock, have a quick cup of tea and coffee, and then off we go. So he goes to bed. 7 o'clock, gets up next morning. I could hear all this singing and dancing. What the hell's going on here? Me and my wife walked downstairs in our pajamas, and there's Jamie and Marie dancing in the middle of the floor. They'd been up all night. There was cans everywhere. They'd had a party between themselves. Just had a great time. Sky Sports music channel was on, and they were just dancing.
Yes.
They were happiest people you've ever seen in your life. There was no beer left in the fridge. It'd all gone. And I just stood there, laughed, and got dressed, and we went. And then they fell asleep for the rest of the day.
That's amazing.
Well, that was Jamie. That's what it was like.
That's amazing. Another chapter coming to an end in a few weeks. The ITV team, as we know it, it's last tournament coming up. Is that going to be a sad day come that Sunday in Minehead for you boys?
Do you know, at one point I didn't want to go. I'm going to go because they've asked me to, but I was absolutely devastated. 18 years I've been with ITV. In the early days, even when it looked like we weren't going to get any more events, because we started with a Grand Slam, then that eventually went to Sky, because ITV was struggling with money at the time, and then it all came back again. And the strangest thing for me to understand is how darts is so big and popular nowadays, why that would happen, but it's just a production that's not happening. So basically, myself, Chris, Jackie, Stuart, and John and Ned, of course, the ITV team won't be there. Matchroom will be producing the events, and whatever Matchroom pick for whatever jobs are available is up to them. So we still don't know what's going to happen yet. I'm sure they'll get that done as soon as possible, because the first event is in end of January, the WDF World Masters. So we'll have to wait and see. But personally, yes, absolutely gutted. I think I've still got a bit more to offer. So try to make it fun. And I learned quite a lot in all the years. I worked with all the top professionals as well. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, like I say, you and Chris have been there from day one. I know Matt Smith did it for a while, and then Jackie came in and so on. It'll be a sad day or a sad night when that winning double goes in Minehead.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, and I'll be as soon as that dart goes in, I'll be in the car driving to Leicester for the World Championship qualifier.
Yeah,
I won't be able to do a lot.
No, that's mad. Another question in the chat room for you: Did you apply to go on Bullseye as a contestant? And what was your experience like back in the day?
Yes, I did apply. Yeah, I mean, you have to remember back in the day, it was the in thing, wasn't it? Everybody wanted to be on Bullseye. It It was amazing. It was almost cult. I'm glad I got that correct. Jim Bowen was. He actually lived near Lancaster. I knew him quite well. We applied for it. We had to go to Manchester for like an audition. I don't know if they still do the same nowadays, but me and my mate David Hughes, who was one of my bosses in the hospital, and they asked him a couple of questions and ticked boxes and whatever. And then I stood me next to a dartboard and said, hit big 17, go for double 4, throw one at the ball or something like that. And then you do that and they tick a box. And then that was it, really. We threw like 6 darts. I suppose they want to see you're not going to kill the marker, I suppose. But from that, you get the call, and then it's like, oh, amazing, because you're really looking forward to it. And no word of a lie, I worked nights at the time, and they wouldn't give me the night off the night before. So I had to work all night, got picked up in the morning, 7 o'clock, drove all the way to Birmingham, because it was Birmingham before it went to Nottingham. Absolutely shattered. And then say we got to the final. We actually had a really good total, if I remember. It was one of the biggest at the time, like 680 or something. And the guy who I played with, he didn't play darts, so he was just like, no, I can't do it. I'm too nervous. So I was like, oh, okay, we'll leave it. So we didn't go for the star prize, but we won something like 7 prizes off the boards and 680. So it was a good day. Really enjoyed it. And because I do 3 shows a day, you get to know all the other contestants. So you go and have a beer with them later on and just really, really enjoy the day. And obviously you got the rehearsals in the afternoon. And it's amazing. It's great that it's come back with my mate Freddie Flintoff and little Richard Ash down there.
Do you not hold is there not a record that you hold as well on Bullseye as being the only person? Because did you not go back as a charity thrower, as a pro? Have I got that right? Or
you're close. There's 3 people done it, right? I'll tell
is there really? I didn't know. I thought it was just you.
I don't know the name of one of them, and I'll tell you why. Myself and Peter Everson are the only 2 players to be on as contestants and then do the bronze bully.
Yeah.
The other one was a lady player. She wasn't a top player, but she was a lady player who was a decent player. And she threw as a contestant and hit a 180 while she was a contestant. So Bullseye invited her back to do the bronze bully the following time because she did a maximum. It didn't go too well, unfortunately, on the next one. I don't know the lady's name. I don't know if anybody can drop me a message.
I didn't know there was anybody else, but I had in my head that I knew you'd done 2 visits and come back again.
You know, I've still got me. I found it the other day. I took it to work. I still got my Bullseye name tag with my name on it. And
love that.
In the PDP office. Still got it. 34 years ago. 34.
Love that. That's superb. Just the memories. Obviously, you're just sharing here. Like, I know we've done some PDPA stuff on your career and stuff. The memories that you're bringing up are unbelievable. That you must cherish this so much that you're still involved in the sport that you love.
Yes, and making a difference, I'd like to think. You know, I've always said, I mean, I've got a really good rapport with all the players. I've got most of I think nearly everybody's number on my phone. So I'm always there to be contacted, or if I need to contact them for any particular reason. But just being a part of it now and watching what, you know, like Jan van Veen, the young kid coming through, Luke Littler. I mean, 3 years ago, nobody had ever heard of him, apart from on the JDC. And when you look at, you know, Charlie Manby you mentioned earlier, there's so many young players coming through now. I can't wait to see in the next 5, 6 or 7 years what this top 32 and 64 is going to look like, because there's so many good young players, and it's all about whether not just they can play well, but they can handle situations as good as Luke Littler has.
It's an interesting question here from Jack. He says, Alan, if you could change one thing in darts, what would it be?
Let me throw 4 darts when I was playing Taylor.
Very good.
He's cost me a fortune, but at the end of the day, you know, he was an incredible player, you know, when you look back. And it's funny that when we was at the last event, me and Mace were looking at some of the stats, and even stats that he had 25 years ago were as good as they are nowadays. Incredible player.
Yeah, I agreed. It was, absolutely just bonkers. Again, before we let you go, we'll go back to obviously so next year, if you could one thing that you'd like to do within the PDPA to make the sport better in 2026, what would it be?
I think firstly, we need to get a female rep on board now that the women's series is progressing really well. I think that's important to do. Getting the right person obviously is key. Maybe a rep and then possibly on the board at some point. And secondly, just like players are happy. All we want is players to be happy. If they're happy, everybody's happy.
I like that. That's absolutely superb. Alan, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I know that it was something that we've been planning for a while. I massively appreciate your time, and I've spoken to Alan. We're gonna try and do this more often. That when Alan's got news that he wants to share and whatever, we're gonna get him on so he can share it, because we know players listen, and it's a new form of communication that we were talking about earlier, and so on. So we can try and help as well, push these things forward and make things work in a better manner. Absolutely.
We're all in it for the same reason. Just one more thing I don't think we've mentioned it. We're looking, Matt's mentioned it, so it's not something, it's not out there. And I've mentioned it on ITV about the rankings. So yeah, we're looking at the rankings. We have been doing all year, so don't people think that stuff on the internet is new. We've been looking at it since January 2025. There's no announcement to say yet, but we're going to get there as soon as we can, and then we'll let everyone know. But one interesting thing that we might do is actually let the players vote on some of the scenarios. We haven't decided what the scenarios are yet. We're still talking with the PDC and trying to find, because you can't just make a rule change. You've got to look at all the scenarios, how it affects everybody, maybe run it for a year to see how it affects everything, because it's a big deal. But hopefully at some point we're going to let our members have a vote on it and have a say, because it's important.
I like that. Just out of interest, that if between yourselves and the PDC you can find a number of options that all work, realistically, how long would it take to migrate from the current ranking system that we use to a new one? Because I appreciate it can't just be overnight, click your fingers and it happens. There has to be some migration.
I think depending on what scenario it is and what ranking system we use, I would say that we'd have to have one whole year looking at the ranking system as it is now on prize money and whatever system is, and the ranking system that we're looking at in brackets next to it, to see how it works in reality. Because you can think of everything, but until something happens in reality that you didn't know of or weren't aware of. So I would suggest that you'd have to probably do a whole year looking at and working side by side to see what it throws up and see what you can do about it. But I would say that, but it all depends on what system it is, I suppose.
Yeah. Just out of interest, what would your preference be? Points or still money? But
I've always liked money, simply because it looks and shows people how well the sport's doing. Now, that was done in the early days for obvious reasons, because Barry wanted to promote the game and the PDC and Matt now, and that's fine. I don't think we need to do that anymore, but I still think it looks good. So whether we go for points or milk tokens or prize money or whatever we do, I think they have to run side by side just so you can see it, maybe, in brackets or...
I like that idea.
And just see how it works. But the PDC are very good in looking at these things. We don't rush into them. We've got to make sure it's right. So we meet on a regular basis. We're probably going to meet again at the Grand Slam, probably the Worlds. It's all about making sure we all know what we're doing. Everybody's aware. The system's going to work. We'll try it out. Try it for a year, like we do with rules. Try it for 1 year. See what scenarios it throws up. And then after the end of the year, if there's a problem there, we'll solve it.
Love that. Alan, absolute pleasure to have you on for the live.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. And we will see you for curry in Minehead.
Yes, we will.
Absolutely. Thursday night is curry night.
Thursday night is curry night. Everyone, the one and only Mr. Original Iceman, Mr. Alan Warriner-Little. Thank you so much, Alan. And we will see you in Minehead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate. See you then.
I tell you what, I blooming love that.
Oh, Philip, you continue to spoil us with your booking of top guests. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like really, really good, brilliant. And it's it's what I suppose we have wanted for some time is to be able to have some of those kind. Like I said, like it's difficult for the PDPA to be able to talk about a lot of what they do and what they want to do, and it's really refreshing, really interesting as well, because obviously Alan, like whilst he has the role that he currently has within the game of darts, has done, he's got a long career with lots of things. He's done different things, and he was there at the very beginning, and I think it was fascinating, really, really interesting.
Yeah, I love that chat room. Absolutely incredible as well. Your input in that was absolutely superb. Can't thank Alan enough for that. Right, the Grand Slam draw was done today.
We've actually got some. We've got things that. Oh God, we have.
And oh my God,
windows open. I've just been enjoying a beer and a nice chat, and now I'm going to have to tune back into knowing about darts again, aren't I?
Yeah,
allegedly.
That draw today was nothing short of fucking brutal.
See, honestly, like it is no secret how much I enjoy manifesting chaos. But honestly, Phil, I'm not sure if I'd have laid out all those names on my manifested table.
Let's put it on screen.
No, look at that. Look at Group A. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. AFG, like that, is absolutely superb. I think there are a couple of players in there that can probably think themselves quite lucky looking at how rough that draw is.
Let's be brutally honest. If you're Johnny Clayton or Danny Noppert, you've come out going, thank you very, very much.
I think Chris Dobie won't be feeling too upset with that draw. I think whilst we've got two massive names in it, as long as the top two qualify, I think James Wade and Gezi Price will probably be looking at that and thinking I'll be fine. But I think there's some absolute bloody carnage everywhere else.
Look, groups A, F, and G are absolutely
brilliant. I don't. Whilst it hasn't got the box office offerings that A, F, and G have, I think C's a complete bloody lottery as well.
Yeah, I agree.
C could throw up anything. Yeah, absolutely superb. Really, I absolutely love it. Because it's difficult when you get a draw, because sometimes, and we've done it, haven't we? We've talked through a draw and found it hard to get exciting sometimes, haven't we? We've looked through and gone, all right, yeah, well, latter stages, let's just hope. But God, you look at that and you think, crap, we're going to be at it from, whilst we haven't got a schedule yet, but let's assume we're going to be at it pretty quick in the program. And yeah, what a bloody good draw that is.
Yeah, well, you know what we're going to do? We are going to go through it group by group. We are going to break it down. We are going to try and butcher who we think is going to get through. Yeah, Malachi was right. Lisa didn't deserve that.
No, she didn't. That's right. Honestly, yeah, she should be writing a strongly worded letter to somebody.
Strongly worded email, indeed.
A strongly worded email, I think. And what the bloody hell have you done to me here? Good God.
Right. So let's start with Group A. Chat room, get involved as well. Here we poor Alex Bowen on his debut gets thrown up against the current world number one, former world champion Nathan Aspinall, man in form. Michael Smith returning to form, and the American, the Jackal, Alex Spellman. Oh, I tell you what, look, if Spellman plays well, he's in this.
So I've got two views on this, right? And one is like, one view is poor Alex Spellman. Like, he's been completely stitched up. He's got the world number one, a former world champion, and a man that simply doesn't know when he's beat, right? And can do some amazing things. Like, that is a box office, like 3 opponents to play against. But the other side of me thinks, if you are going to come from across the pond and you do want to make a bit of an impact, like, there you go, Alex. Like, if you want to come and make a name for yourself in the world of darts, there you go, Alex. It's teed up for you there. Like, the opportunity is there, because if you can take a scalp or 2 scalps in that group, you are immediately making a name for yourself, because you are immediately making news stories straight away. And whilst those of us, there are a number of us that know how good Alex Spellman is and know what he can do on a dartboard. But the casual fan, the people tuning into Sky Sports, and I mean this and I have the greatest respect for Alex, but there will be people tuning into Sky Sports, the casual fan, that see, Michael Smith, former world champion, and a guy from America whose name they don't know. And there is an opportunity for Alex Spellman here to announce himself to the world of darts. And when I say that, I mean the mainstream. So yeah, I think there's 2 sides to this. There's one, I think, oh God, poor lad, like, you don't want to get stuck in that group. But by the same token, what an opportunity. If he can view that as an opportunity, then that could be very impressive.
Who have you got coming out of Group A? Chat room as well.
As the world leading manifester of chaos, I have got Luke Humphries and Alex Spellman.
Okay.
They're beatable. They are. I get, like, Nathan Aspinall and Michael Smith are beatable on TV this year. Alex Spellman can win darts matches.
I am going Luke Humphries and Nathan. I think Nathan's one of the best players on the planet at the moment.
Boring.
Nathan's in my top 4 at the moment in terms of people playing well. I'm going for Humphries and Aspinall. Don't get me wrong. I would love Bully Boy and Alex to upset the apple cart. I just don't see it. I just think that Luke and Nathan are just playing a little bit too well at the moment. For me.
We'll see. We'll see very soon.
Group B. Chris Dobie, Damon Hetta, Martin Lukeman, and Jurgen van der Velde. See, I think this group is fairly straightforward.
Yeah, I'm trying to not be dismissive. I am, but I'm afraid that Martin Lukeman. It's funny because the reason he's here is because he was the runner-up in this event last year. But
he's not had the year Martin would have wanted.
No, and he
played beautiful to get.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was such a good run, and we all. I mean, well, honestly, we enjoyed it so much, and Martin had become a bit of a cult figure among the online darts team. But I just think that at the minute his game isn't close enough to the game that got him to the final last year.
I agree.
To compete on that big stage with Dobie and Hetta. And I think that Dobie and Hetta get through this relatively comfortably.
Right, so we agree. So back Lukeman and Van der Velde. Sorry, Dobie and Damon Hetta.
Sorry, guys, we've done you in there.
We've done you in like a kid like that. I agree. I think Hollywood's playing really well at the moment, and it's a nice group as well. The same that Damon Hetta, we know, has the talent, has the ability. Will he be happy with his own performances on TV recently? No, he won't. However, this group is a perfect chance for him to get his season back on track.
Agreed.
How dare you? Yes, it is a Christmas jumper. How dare you?
No, it's November after all, isn't it? 3rd of November.
Hey, Mariah said it was time on TikTok. And if Mariah says it's time, it's fine.
Right. Because she's getting her residuals for it. That's what it is. She wants her annual payout. That's what she's after.
Rule number 1 in music: write a timeless Christmas song. You'll never have to work a day again.
Absolutely. We need to do that, don't we? The online darts Christmas song. We need to capture.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. It could be a rap.
Group C: Stephen Bunting, Martin Schindler, Luke Woodhouse, and Alexis Toilo.
Right. What are we doing here, Dan? I'll stick with Bunting. And he will be joined in the next round by Luke Woodhouse. I've just seen too many good performances on a stage from Luke Woodhouse for me to not back him in an opening round.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think the key game in this group for me, I think Bunting wins the group.
It's Schindler against Woodhouse. So I think it's a. I think that Toilo will come with a good game, but probably won't have enough to compete. And I think it's probably a shootout between Schindler and Woodhouse, and I'm tempted to go Woodhouse.
I'm going to edge Woodhouse as well. Although if Schindler can produce, look, I think that game between Schindler and Woodhouse is huge. Whoever wins that picks up second, but I'm going to edge Luke Woodhouse. Group D, we've got an interview, one of these coming out. I'll come on in a minute. But James Wade, Gerwyn Price, Ricky Evans, and Stefan Belmont. Now, if you'd have asked me a week ago, if this was the group was put in front of me a week ago, I'd have said Wade and Price top two. But Ricky Evans last week produced probably the best darts he has all year. He was only in one TV tournament this time last week. Now he's in 3. All of a sudden, Rapid Ricky has just started to turn it on. There's a reason behind it. I'm not going to stay until you watch the interview, but there is a reason behind this upturn in form. And all of a sudden, he's just got me questioning, can he gate crash those two?
I'm a big fan of Rapid Ricky. A big fan. But they've just been so good this year, the pair of them. I think it's the easiest pick of the bunch for Wade and Price. I think it's the easiest pick of the opening round is them two coming through. They're just so...
I know it was only an exhibition, but on Saturday, the main event was Ricky Evans against Nathan Aspinall in the afternoon. Now, they were 5-all. They swapped darts like players do in the last leg to make it a bit of fun. Ricky was averaging about 108, Nathan 105, I think. They were hitting 180s for fun. They swapped darts. Now, anyone that knows, Ricky Evans' dart is completely different to Nathan Aspinall's. Ricky Evans, with Nathan Aspinall's darts, went up there 180, 60-60, wired it 140, 84 after 9 he's got. He's gone big 20, big 14, stopped, give Nathan a bit of shit, and they were laughing at each other. Nathan was like, this is my darts. Got the crowd involved, bigged it up, and banged the bullseye. 12 darter on with Nathan Aspinall's darts. It was brilliant.
So is Ricky straight on the Target website then, ordering himself a couple of sets of
So if Ricky rocks up and plays with Nathan Aspinall's, you know why.
Yeah, I'll change my pick if Ricky starts chucking a set of Nathan Aspinall's darts. If he turns up throwing the other set. But if he sticks with throwing his own darts, then I think Wade and Price qualify.
Can I do it? Right. Everything in my body is telling me that Gerwyn Price tops the group. James Wade comes second. However,
I disagree.
Are you going Wade top, Price second?
Yeah.
I am going Gerwyn Price top. Ricky Evans second.
It's a bold pick. It's a bold pick.
Joel, not accidentally. I interviewed everyone over the weekend, so we've got interviews with everyone coming. Don't worry about that.
We're stacked with interviews, Joel.
Yeah, I think Stefan Belmont's the bystander in this group. Group E, Luke Littler, Daryl Gurney, Connor Scott, and Sedlerbox. Now, Sedlerbox played brilliantly to qualify. Connor Scott has almost rescued his season in a week, got to the Worlds and got to the Grand Slam. Daryl Gurney is very hit and miss. When he's good, he is very good. But there is that off game in there. And look, I think Littler tops the group. I don't think there's a worry about that. I see Luke winning 3 from 3. Cheers, everyone. Have another bourbon, and I'm into the knockout stage.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm conscious at this point that I've been quite dismissive of qualifiers, and I haven't picked a qualifier to come through the group yet. And I sort of did that because I knew that I would get to this one and pick a qualifier to come through, especially because that opening game is going to be Gurney-Connor Scott. And I think that if Connor Scott beats Daryl Gurney, then it puts him on. It obviously puts him at an advantage because he's won a game of fucking darts. But I think that if one of them was playing Littler first, then it could mess the mojo up a little bit. But I am happy to say Littler tops the group with Connor Scott second, because I do think we have not seen what we expected of Connor Scott so far this year, and I think we might be due. We're overdue, in fact.
We are, and I agree with you. Luke Littler tops the group, and I agree that we have overlooked the qualifiers, but I am going for a Karel Sedler box.
Goodness me.
I'm going Sedlacek to finish second.
Well, we know what is happening. Daryl Gurney's getting through then, isn't he? If we've got Sedlacek.
You back Scott, I back Sedlacek.
Get your 50 pence on Daryl Gurney, because that's what's going to happen there.
Group F. No, this is fucking carnage. Gian Van Veen, Josh Rock, Wessel Nyman, and Lisa Ashton. Let me just put this back up so people can see it as well while we have a chat. Van Veen, the seed, Rock, Nyman, Ashton.
I mean, that is savage. Absolutely savage.
Wasn't it here last year where Wessel... Didn't he have 3 massive ton-plus averages and lost all 3 games?
Yeah. Right. How do I do this? Do you know what? We want chaos. We want the Premier League conversation to continue to be exciting and interesting, and we want to keep stirring the pot. So, Gian Van Veen and Wessel Nyman go through.
So... Here we go. Wessel averaged 106.51, 105.39, and 111.10, and lost all 3 games.
Utterly, utterly ridiculous. And that's why he deserves to go through this year, because that's absurd. Van Veen and Nyman.
Do you know what? I agree. So back Rock and Ashton. We've agreed twice.
You've got to feel a bit for like that is unfortunate for Lisa Ashton to be stuffed into that group, because that is a group of death if I've ever seen one.
That's like when you're in Turkey and you look up and Bernard Matthews is staring at you.
Yeah, I mean, to be in fairness though, let's be real. We could see some properly good games very, very quickly in this tournament. Like we could see some box office stuff very early with that draw.
Well, let's just say Group F isn't going to overrun with time, because this will be rat-a-tat-tat all the way. Right, Group G: Michael Van Gerwen, Gary Anderson, Nico Springer, and Bo Greaves.
I'm tempted to do something very silly here, Philip.
But before you say it, are you thinking that the El Clasico of darts don't get out of the group?
I'm tempted. I am tempted.
Bold. I'm not saying it's not beyond the realms.
Fortune favours the brave. Bo Greaves and Nico Springer. Prove me wrong. I tell you what, if I've nailed that, I am going to be unbearable for weeks.
However, if you get it wrong,
I'll look a tit, won't I? Same as always.
Oh, fuck me. This is fucking tough.
I think it's again. I think we're spoilt. Like we are spoilt for games you want to see, like games you want to see. You know, Nico Springer has come. You know, potentially the next big thing coming out of Germany. The more potential than most European players, arguably outside of Vessel and Jan van Veen, and then to put him in a group with Michael van Gerwen is incredibly exciting. Gary is Gary. Obviously, the amount of excitement that we've just got such potential in this group. And I want it to be bonkers. I want it to be chaotic. We saw chaos last year. Chaos reigned last year at the Grand Slam.
I'm going for I really want Bo to get out of the group, but can I bring myself to knock out El Clasico?
It's a challenge for you, this, I can see. If only one of them was in the group, then you'd find it easier, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%. I'd say whichever one was in Bo.
It's like you asking me to choose between my children, isn't it? It's like you asking me who's my favourite child. I love them all the same.
I can't do it. No, I can.
Oh. But which one? Which one, Philip?
Bo gets out of the group with Michael.
Oh, didn't expect you to say that. I thought you'd have gone the other way.
The reason I say it is I haven't seen Gary Anderson play enough. Since the match play, in my opinion, he has not played enough darts.
So does Bo beat Gary on that stage?
Yes. I think she loses a tight game to Michael and wins the other two.
I'm here for it.
No, don't get me wrong. I would love Gary to turn up and be Gary. I genuinely would. But I don't think Gary has played enough darts since the World Match Play.
I think everything could happen in that group. I genuinely think everything is on the table. I think everything could happen in every match in that group.
Yeah.
Brilliant group for the opening round.
Group H.
Boring.
Johnny Clayton, Danny Noppert, Lucas Venick, and Cam Crabtree.
Yeah.
Which way around are you putting them?
I think you could almost toss a coin. Johnny will edge out Danny in their match, and they'll both win their other two.
I'm going Johnny 1, Danny 2. Now,
I think it's hard to come up with much else in there. Again, it's mainly because Johnny and Danny have been so strong as well, haven't they?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Right. Just out of interest, how do you think they are going to play this? Because in theory, you should have Group A, B, C, and D in one, Group E, F, G, and H in another. However, there's no way that Luke Humphreys, Nathan Aspinall, Michael Smith, and Alex Bowman are going in the afternoon, is there?
You wouldn't think so, mate. You wouldn't. Well, I think that. No, I think they're going to break the groups down. We saw it last year, though, didn't we? Did we not see groups broken down last year?
Probably, yeah.
I'm pretty sure last year we saw groups split between afternoon and evening. I think we did. There might be a reality check for a few players and that end up in the afternoon that maybe aren't used to that.
From chat room as well, from your predictions. So remember, when they get through, it will be groups A to D in the top half.
That's your semi-finals.
Groups E, F, G, and H in the bottom. So from the people that you said, who is your semi-finalists?
My semi-final, right? It's him or him. against. Okay. The semi-final, number 1, will be... do you know what? I've not picked him for ages, and I miss it. So I'm going back there. Chris Dobie plays James Wade in the semi-final.
Luke Humphreys plays Gerwyn Price in the semi-final. Then bottom half.
This is tough. It's made particularly tough that Group E and Group F are next to each other.
Correct.
Which means that the semi-final will be Luke Littler against, and this goes back slightly on what I said earlier on, but people play each other twice, don't they? And that's silly. We all know it's silly, but it means different things can happen. Luke Littler plays Danny Noppert in the semi-final.
I don't dislike that. G2 will play H1. Luke Littler will play. I haven't done this for a while. Luke Littler will play Michael Van Gerwen.
You haven't done that for a while, actually.
No.
And after spending 10 minutes working out whether he'd get through the opening round, that's an interesting pick, isn't it?
I think once he gets through the group, he becomes a danger.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I don't agree, but you're entitled to your opinion.
So, before I ask you for your winner and runner-up, remember, the last 3 winners of the Grand Slam have gone on to be world champion. Michael Smith won the Grand Slam, world champion. Luke Humphreys won the Grand Slam, world champion. Luke Littler won the Grand Slam, world champion. So effectively, you're picking your world's winner here as well.
Oh, I'm not, because I'm not because I know I'm going to pick, because I know I'm going to pick to win this, and I ain't picking him to win the world. That's the problem.
Hey, they're the rules. I'm just telling you how it is. They're the rules. The winner of this wins the worlds.
James Wade beats Chris Dobie in that semi-final, and then Luke Littler beats Danny Noppert in the other semi-final. Final is James Wade against Luke Littler for the best of 31 legs.
And bearing in mind, people's preparation will be big because they will be there all day.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, is it boring to pick him? Luke Littler beats James Wade in the final. That's my pick.
Luke Humphreys will play Luke Littler in the final.
For a change?
Yeah, not that we haven't seen that. In doing so, Luke Littler will go to world number 1 regardless of the outcome.
Yep.
but Luke Humphreys wins the title. So they all win.
Everyone's a winner.
Winner, winner. Chicken dinner.
I feel like you've balanced that too nicely there. Like you've I feel like you've sort of been bold, but really just tried to please everyone.
All right, right. Danny Noppert beats Stefan Beaumont in the final.
Tell you what, if you've got that on your racker, folks,
then you're off to Vegas to have the absolute time of your life.
Yeah, if you've got that on your racker, you're invited to the online darts Christmas party, but you're picking up the bar tab.
The thing is as well, come the final day, those longer formats play into Humphreys, Price, Littler, and so on. It plays into their hands. That format really does.
Yeah, it does. And we've seen it. We've seen it so many times. We've seen these lads become serial winners. They know how to get it done on the Sunday. You know, they know how to turn up and run through a week and get to Sunday and get over the line. I don't know what he's on about in the chat room. Wade's in the Premier League. It's happening, mate. It's happening. It's time that everybody just started to make their peace with it. Because it's happening.
Right now, I think 4 are easy, and then I think it's 6 for 4 places.
Yeah.
There will be 2 very pissed off players. Oh, there will.
Well, yeah, but I think that's, sometimes you have to go away and have a bit of a reflect, don't you? But that's just today, because let's be honest, if we see, the conversation changes massively if we get a winner next week. I mean, because I know that perhaps last year, we didn't see a rogue winner, but let's be honest, we saw a semi-final between Martin Lukeman and Mickey Mansell. I mean, who picked that? For a semi-final.
You say in terms of that, right? Let's be fair. As a person, I love Danny Noppert, but with the greatest will in the world, he is not what you call Premier League material in terms of the dart player. Yes, but everything else, he doesn't tick those boxes.
But however, I do think if he picks up a pot.
Well, I was coming on to this.
Hard.
So with 3 events left, if he does well in all 3, he could well be in the top 4 come January the 3rd. He's only 100 grand off, and 100 grand sounds a lot of money. But when you're talking about 2 big majors and then the silly money at the Worlds, it's not.
No, absolutely not at all. And like I say, it's. We've seen last year. We saw a semi-final that nobody in the world could have picked or predicted.
100%.
A semi-final here gets you 50 grand. Right? There's a lump on there for starters. And if you get somebody and I'm normally the biggest man, over and over again saying it. I have not said the name Chris Dobey in a Premier League conversation this year. Which is an all-time record for Dan Simpson to get to November and not say the name Chris Dobey and Premier League in the same sentence. However, if he wins something like this, you've then got 11 going into 8.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, because you've then got a Premier League player that's played there a few times, big pot, recency bias, etc., etc. And so I do think there's more cards to turn in terms of the Premier League conversation. And I think that we will get, whilst we maybe say 10 into 8 at the minute, the next couple of tournaments, I think we could see a situation where we start to get to 11, 12, depending on if we get a couple of finalists. And there are a couple of people on the periphery. And I reference James Wade again, because his name comes around a lot this year with the Premier League, probably because he hasn't been he's not been there for such a long time. But I think if we see another final, it becomes almost, you can appear, if you don't extend the invite to James Wade after, if he makes another final, then I just think you can look. It's not a good look. I think you can appear like you are making a decision to purposefully not give someone the same opportunities as others, regardless of your reasons for that. I still don't think it's a great look.
I can go with it. Right, we'll touch on more, but like you say, the mad end to last season, the Pro Tour was ridiculous, and we now know the field for Minehead, and there is some absolute barbaric ties. So before we look at them, missing out, Ryan Meikle and Dominic Grulish missed out on count back to Max Hopp.
Harsh, but it's harsh, but there has to be, there's got to be a cut-off. There's got to be, it is what it is. Like, you have all year to get there, and there are, let's be honest, this isn't a narrowed down tournament where you've only got 32 competitors or something.
Yeah, no.
It's a big field, and you've got all year to get there. So whilst I think it's a bit, it's tough to take, I just think you haven't played well enough, have you, if you're not there?
Yeah, Keane Barry, again, an unbelievable run from him to... he was in danger. He's I know it sounds blunt, but his career was almost on the line this weekend, just gone, because he's not played well. He wasn't in anything. His tour card was in danger. And then he showed a set of conkers, gets himself to Minehead in the Wilds and keeps his card. So, superb from Keane.
Yeah, and it has the difference that's made, and that literally is his card done. That's his card secure. A huge achievement, and a couple of weeks ago it didn't look particularly likely. So yeah, absolutely massive, and yeah, very, very impressive to turn it on at this time of year when it's always impressive when they turn it on when they need it most, and because lots of other dart players haven't. Let's be honest, there was a number of players this week who were really up against it and needed to produce something, and a lot of them didn't, and he did. So yeah, all credit to him.
Right, I've got round one in Minehead sees the world number 7 take on the world number 1 at the moment, probably world number 2 by the time we get to Minehead, in Luke Humphreys. Oh my word, that is, you wanted chaos, you've got it in a massive way.
Yeah, it's, legitimately, we do, and this is why I like this event, because it does throw up, and it will continue to do so for as long as the big guns continue to manage their calendar and decide how many of these Players' Championship events they're going to fit into their diary. And it comes, it becomes a thing for them where they just need to make sure they're there. They just need to make sure they got there. Then we will continue to see these completely mad opening round games. But what it may do is it may just tune a few players in next year when they start to look at their seeding, perhaps, and whether or not they might just play that extra day, or whether or not they might just, do that extra event, because they might not want to be ranked 54th because, oh dear, that means that I've got a really tough start and I can't play my way into this tournament. But yeah, I'm here for it all day long. I think the opening draw is absolutely smashing. There's some brilliant games. Even, if you take the huge names out, I just think that there's some setups there of like what I think look like really, really good watches, decent games. William O'Connor and Ricardo Petrescu, I thought looked like a nice opening round game, and I just thought there's some real good stuff in there.
Yeah, 100%. And you just look at it, and like normally you can plot a route to the final and so on, but here, because of, like you say, because of the seedings where people end up, it is absolute chaos. And you look at this quarter, Ross Smith against Nico Springer, Jeffrey de Graaf against Luke Littler, William O'Connor, who's arguably playing the darts of his career at the moment, Gary Anderson, Mario Van and Bo Harder. That is a brutal little section. Dodie against Barry, De Decker against Crabtree, Clayton against Hurrell, Woodhouse against Souter. There's potential.
And those two brackets meet each other
all over the place.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's and you run out of like interested, because you look at that next group down, and I know there's a few, but in that group of 8, you've got Wessel Nyman, Nathan Aspinall, Danny Noppert, Dirk van Duijvenbode, like the potential. Even just second round games are amazing, and there's some belters in the first round. I think it looks like a really, really good tournament. Really good tournament.
Yeah, 100%. Over the weekend, we're going to give the winners a mention. I can't tell you, I didn't watch any of the WDF World Masters. One, because I was at an exhibition, so I didn't physically have time. But let's give them the credit they deserve. The girls' winner was won by Ireland's Rebecca Allen. The Open Youth was won by Mitchell Laurie. No surprise there. Mitchell is absolute clearing up at the moment. The women's event was won by Lorraine Hyde, and the Open event was won by Jimmy Vanchke. Congratulations to all the winners of the WDF Masters. Like I said, I didn't see any of it because I was at an exhibition. And then we had the tour card holder qualifier and so on. So Laurie could win Lakeside 100%. I agree. The youth final was very, very good. Yeah, Mitchell Laurie is an unbelievable talent, and he will be a danger going into the main Lakeside tournament 100%. I'm interested to see how that is set up backstage at Lakeside, because there are some safeguarding issues. I think that, Dan, you work in this, that you'll know that a 14-year-old probably shouldn't be sharing a practice room with full-blown adults and so on with what goes on.
Well, I think that the last sentence there is the key one, because I would argue that in many other sports, then you go to the Olympics and you might find that that's perfectly fine and perfectly acceptable. I would just like to hope, and I'm not suggesting for a moment that this isn't the case.
No, it's only a tiny practice room backstage at Lakeside.
I would also just like to think that there are all of the relevant safeguarding procedures and protocols and everything else in place so that things are done in an appropriate manner.
Yeah, like I say, it's a tiny practice. The reason I say that, it's a tiny practice area back there.
Well, again, you'd like to hope that people will be conscious when they are around younger people and would adjust their behaviour accordingly. You would like to think so. I'd like to think if my kids were in there that, people weren't acting a twat. But it's difficult. Well, like I say, I would like to hope that there are sufficient measures in place to make sure that that's not an environment that wouldn't be comfortable for somebody of that age to be in, or suitable or appropriate. And that if it wasn't, that there are suitable measures in place for that to be raised and then addressed and taken seriously.
Now, the WDF did the draw for their World Championship at the weekend, and there was a glaring fuck up. There's no other way.
I did hear about this. I heard about this.
So let me read you the tweet that was then deleted. But don't worry, we got a screenshot.
That's never a good start, is it?
So after the final qualifier in Budapest began, this is the important bit. After the final qualifier began, the WDF realised an error was made in calculating the final places awarded the table race, with Madhu Jansen being invited and included in the draw rather than Lisa Zwolofka. Sorry if I butchered her name. Once this error was discovered, the WDF elected to invite both players taking their place in the field for the Women's World Championship to 25. Zwolokov will take the place of qualifier 1 in the draw. Qualifier 2 in the draw will be determined in a playoff match the first Friday at Lakeside between the two winners of the last chance qualifier in Budapest.
Oh, fuck.
Now, first of all, I fully accept that human error can happen, right? It shouldn't, but it can, and human error has happened in this incident. Okay, someone obviously has fucked up. My issue is you cannot change the qualifying goalposts once that qualifier is underway. And the tweet after the final qualifier in Budapest had begun. So those players are entered into the qualifying tournament. And when they played their first, it had begun, there were 2 places on the line. That turned into 1 place involving a playoff game at Lakeside on the first Friday.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
That is an absolute shambles.
Well, it certainly is as well. Because so isn't this a tournament with first round losers money?
Yes.
But not first round losers money if you're playing that qualifier on the Friday.
Well, I would presume so, yes.
So you're going to travel there, book yourself your accommodation, do all of that, to then perhaps play in a tournament that even though you've gone there, played a game, still haven't got paid. Oh, it's just bollocks. I get, so human error is a thing, but there is sometimes a difference, and I don't want to go in two-footed, but there is a difference between human error and then getting wrong the fundamental thing that your purpose is to get right.
Okay, right. They're all guaranteed money. That's okay. That's fine.
But even those,
the loser of the playoff is still guaranteed.
Even the loser of the playoff.
That's but still
okay.
But I still disagree with that. That you cannot change the qualifying criteria once that is underway.
No, you can't.
If you change it beforehand, right? That's probably the lesser of the evil. But
it's the lesser of the evil. People still think it's shit if you do it on the morning of, but you can't do it halfway through the bloody game, can you?
Correct. And the other thing that we have slated the PDC for this, and I will continue to do it. That why are you pre-recording a draw before the qualifier is done for the World Championship? Why wasn't it a live draw? The same as we criticised the PDC for it.
I was going to say this isn't just a target against
No, we
particular draw. We criticise every draw
doing live draws.
Yeah, and unless you sit like we have done on this very bloody show and pull number, I think my numbers might be around somewhere. Unless you've sat and pulled numbers live and said number 14 plays number 33, you open up the chance for everyone to go bollocks, bullshit. Look at that ridiculous draw. There is the only way to never be accused of not being playing with a straight bat is just do a live draw. Just pull the numbers out and have your live draw, record it live and show the world.
100%.
It's the only way to do it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I tell you what was interesting as well is the fact that the defending champion almost wasn't in the pot because he almost qualified for Ali Pali.
I mean, almost. He won some games and he did very, very well. I watched I streamed the whole thing, and do you know what? It was a great day. In terms of level, did we see the highest caliber of darts we've seen? No, not really, but we didn't expect, let's be with the greatest of respect to the list of entries that day. We didn't think that we were going to see, ton plus average after ton plus average all day long. But what we did see was some very, very competitive darts. We saw some really entertaining stuff. And in truth, the best player on the day won that qualifier. David Davies did an absolutely superb job. And, there was quite a few times that we had his matches as a feature game on the stream. And in terms of doing the right things at the right time, there was just, he was up against it where he needed to grab a break of throw to win a match, and he popped a 130 in. And then there was a few occasions where he looked like his opponent was just gonna nick something off him, and he just came and popped a 180 in. And it was an absolutely brilliant performance across the whole day. It was thoroughly well deserved, really was.
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a second. But the other thing, and chat room, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are still avenues for players that are in that Lakeside draw to qualify for Ali Pali.
It depends where you're from, doesn't it? I'm
talking.
So you've got
Boris Kirchmar, Jimmy Van Schie.
Yeah.
I think can all still qualify for Ali Pali.
Yeah, Netherlands and Belgium qualifier 15th of November, Mediterranean qualifier 16th, Southeast Europe 15th, Czechia 16th of November, Polish qualifier 14th of November. So you've still got a bunch of opportunities across mainland Europe to play. What is the Mediterranean qualifier? Is that who's included in the Med officially? Is it all round? Is it all sides of the Med?
No idea. You've got the Super League as well. So Liam Mandel Lawrence can end up winning that.
Yeah, there is definitely still a number of here we go. Mediterranean qualifier, eligible countries, and I'm not sure Andorra's on the Andorra, France, Gibraltar, Italy, Malta, Monaco, Portugal, San Marino, and Spain.
Monaco, could you imagine? The Monegalese champion.
Let's get. I tell you what, Phil, I wouldn't be obliged to us going for a trip to stream it from there.
Off the back of a yacht with Skylink.
I'll pick you up in the helicopter, mate.
Get the chopper.
I'll pick you up in the helicopter. We're going to Monaco to watch the darts.
So, yeah, like you say, that draw's done, but it might still be an absolute chaos.
Yeah, there's still damage to be done, isn't there? There is still damage to be done by the PDC's expansion.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And to be fair, I do feel for the organisers that the fact that obviously these qualifiers aren't settled till mid-November, it doesn't give them a lot of time.
No, and like I said, and there's nothing that they can control in that. The fact that those qualifiers are all 15th and 16th of November, it's nothing that they can control. And yeah, German Super League as well. That's another spot.
Yeah.
There's another spot for the German Super League, which starts tomorrow. Yeah, 4th to the 7th November. So there's potentially even more to maybe come out that draw there.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? But good. But yeah, so yeah, that's that. Going back to congratulations to we'll touch on that, Marcus, in a second. Dave. Ben Robb could still win the Australian Pro. I was going to say, I know Raymond Smith has already said he will not take the Ali Pali spot because of his work commitments and so on. He has to book time off well in advance and whatever. So he's already done that for Lakeside. But the Australian Premier League is another entrance to Ali Pali as well.
Yeah, and it's been good, hasn't it? So it was just finishing off the other day as we started the stream. for the qualifier. So we did a bit of crossover at the beginning because it was still going on, and they were just starting the final when we were getting started. And I think it's been really good. Again, I think we've seen a nice mix of players coming through into semi-finals and finals. I think it's been a real good advertisement for how things are getting back on track. I would probably say is the best way to put it in the oceanic regions.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the tour next year. Like, I know Alan obviously said it in when we were chatting to him about the new entity. We've had the boys on, but it looks like they're taking full control of the Australian PDC scene, so to speak. And I'm interested to see how that flourishes next year.
Yeah, you'd like to hope that, obviously what we've seen this year is you would hope just the start, and like I said, we had the lads on a bit earlier in the year, didn't we? And they've done, give them their due, they've done everything that they said they want, everything they said they wanted to do when we sat and talked to them as things were getting kicked off. Like they've done it, and it's going from strength to strength. And let's just hope that next year is better than this year, and it continues on an upward trajectory.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm not saying looking forward to that. I think it'll be. I think it'll be really, really good to see that develop, and so on, which will be great. I say congratulations to Dave Davis, absolute lovely guy, and I spoke to him on Messenger. I don't think he could quite believe what he'd done, that the boy from North Wales that until this year hadn't really, not done anything's the wrong word, but perhaps was certainly under the radar. And this year he's represented Wales for the first time. He's won a Challenge Tour. He won Red Dragon Champion of Champions. And now he's going to Alexandra Palace.
Honestly,
that is an incredible 6 months.
But it was such a good day of performances as well. It was like all the different ways that you can win, he won. It really was very, very impressive. And like I said, there was times when he started to get up against it, when his opponent started to just put the pedal down a little bit, and yeah, he just found 180s out of nowhere where he and just kept managing to motor through. And then in the final, he was just, McGurk couldn't lay a glove on him. He just pressed on, and it was really impressive, really good.
Yeah. The DPA didn't even stream there for a minute. £90 entry was a bit steep. Yeah, no, look, it looks like that the DPA has run its course, but we'll wait for official confirmation on that. Like we say, busy time coming up. We'll open up question time. But busy time over the next 10 days in darts with the Grand Slam and so on. So it'll be interesting how it all goes down over the next 10 days or so.
Certainly will. Yeah, like I say, it is silly season, isn't it? We're pretty much non-stop, both with and every time there isn't some PDC event on, we're sort of shoehorning bits and bobs in between of online darts things to try and get everybody G'd up for what's happening at Alexandra Palace and darts in general. So yeah, really it's non-stop but very exciting.
Bob asks, what do you think about Vincent saying on his podcast that Price is weight loss and how Price reacted? Look, from you can look at someone and go, oh, he doesn't look well, he's lost too much weight. That's just an opinion on what you're looking at. And that's what Vincent said. Vincent says, I think he's lost too much. And Gezzy's gone, no, I'm fine. It is what it is. It's just
a bit of back and forth in it, and everyone will have a view on it. And I think there are more important things to have a view on.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Dan hasn't mentioned this. I don't know if he's seen this or not.
I have seen it.
Are you getting your swapsies out?
It's not me, is it, man? I've got 3 kids.
Let's be fair. It's going to be you that's doing it. Let's be fair. You're going to have a book of your own.
it's going to be me that's fucking paying for it, isn't it? That's just the problem for it. It's just like what someone brings out another Panini bring out a sticker mouth, a sticker board. It's essentially another mouth to feed in my house. I'm gonna have to fund that, and then he's gonna be wandering around with massive piles of swaps, and then I'm gonna have to try and find. Oh, it's gonna be a nightmare.
Have the boys seen it yet or not?
No, I've hidden it from them. I'm getting rinsed for V-Bucks 3 times a day and everything else. The last thing I need is one more thing for those kids to come and try and get money off me. But in all seriousness, Mint, brilliant, definitely a way forward. I was all for it when they did trading card. I mean, some of them I seem to feel like I was a bit sickened by one. I'm sure I remember seeing one last year. Billy getting really excited about it. Somebody sending me a link to buy a set, and it was about £250 or something like that. So, yeah, I'm all for it. I think it's brilliant. The more we can get, younger people involved in darts and everything like that, smashing. But if we could do without another thing in darts that doesn't, I mean, like I say, we can get into it in a minute. I made a comment in our group about Billy's approaching the age of he's 10, and we're very close to having a very serious conversation with him about Christmas. And unfortunately, I think Target Darts might have taken that taken the initiative on when that conversation has to happen. I have to sit him down and say, listen, son, I'm going to have to explain to you why you need to cross those Darth Vader darts off your Christmas list, because I'm not paying fucking £600 for them.
Is he close to not believing, or is he still fully invested?
Well, we'll see when we have this conversation about these Darth Vader darts, won't we? We'll see how that goes. And now, don't get me wrong. And again, I don't want to they are the we how half my house is decorated. We are a geeky house in our house. Our house is overflowing with Doctor Who and Star Wars and Harry Potter and everything. And this is just the music room, this one. But I love them. I think they are absolutely amazing. I genuinely think they're amazing. I think the way they're presented and choose the light side, choose the dark side, I think they've done an incredible job with it. But by God, give me a chance if you've got kids and Christmas lists, man.
The thing is, I said this the other day. Now, I haven't got a clue how much darts cost to machine now and stuff like that. I don't know, but they look stunning.
They look amazing. They're incredible.
So there's 2,000 sets. So in terms of making them, packaging them, marketing them, and the license, because let's be fair, the Disney Star Wars license is going to be a lot.
Fuck off. It's in Primark. I can get a Star Wars t-shirt from Primark for £4.
But those 4, right? So whatever the cost is to make, then as a business, you still have to make profit on them. There's no point.
Yeah.
So you can't blame them. Is it expensive, and would I buy them? No. But as a business, you have to make money on them. So I fully accept that it is what it is.
I'm assuming they're not handmade. There'll be a machine. There'll be a machine involved somewhere to at least automate some of the production. No, it is what. And don't get me wrong. Do I think they are spectacular? I think they are spectacularally presented. Absolutely stunning. I really, really like them, and I genuinely think it's groundbreaking. And I think Target needs to be commended for being as forward thinking to do a licensing deal like that. I really do. But it's difficult because I don't know. Maybe Star Wars darts, maybe Star Wars merch is aimed at grown men. Perhaps it is. But I would have enjoyed if the licensing could have been maybe tiered a bit better to encompass some, not even entry level, but maybe some mid level mid-range products.
I know, I get that. And before we go, because we are just going into Fergie time, I did promise Johnny, because I have officially stepped in, what's your top 5 Christmas films now Christmas season started?
Oh, Christ. Top 5. I quite like the original Santa Claus the movie. That's very good. Home Alone
2.
4. No, taking the piss. Home Alone 1, I think, for me. I think Home Alone 1 is quite special. You Let Me Have Die Hard?
No. Not a Christmas film.
It is a Christmas film.
Not.
Man.
Home Alone 2.
Give me
Elf.
your 5. Give me your
Home Alone 2. Elf. Polar Express. Snowman. Miracle on 34th Street.
I'm not sure. I can't give you Miracle on 34th Street. It's Elf. Bad Santa. Can I have Bad Santa?
Yeah, I'll give you Bad Santa.
Christmas movie. Right. So, in no particular order, Home Alone, Bad Santa, and what else am I having? What else?
Surely the Snowman's got to be in there.
Oh, no, Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
I can have Muppets. Right, I can definitely have Muppets Christmas Carol. I'm having that. Yeah, Santa Claus. Yeah, Santa Claus the movie. Well, right, that's really good.
Someone asked, do we have online darts Christmas jumpers? No, but Rob, who's normally in, he's at the Sunderland game today, sent me a link last night about custom Christmas jumpers.
Brilliant.
So people are already sending stuff in.
What's this space?
Yeah, you guys have been absolutely incredible today. Numbers have been absolute magic as always. Remember, this will be available as an audio only in the morning. So wherever you get your podcast from, if you want to listen back or if you've missed any of the show, it will be available on YouTube as always. Remember, plenty of interviews dropping this week as the build up for the Grand Slam of Darts has really and truly started. Make sure you are subscribed to all our social platforms for continued coverage of the Grand Slam over the next 10 days or so. But thank you so much for this evening. Our guest, Alan Warriner-Little, was absolutely fabulous. I've been Phil Bars, Dan Simpson. We have been Online Darts, and we'll see you all very, very soon.